Ok, bueno, ya estamos aquí con Jeffrey de Poolside, nada más y nada menos. And Jeffrey is coming to town, like Santa Claus, but early.
¿Cómo estás, Jeffrey?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Where are you now? LA?
Yeah, I just got back to LA. I was in San Francisco over the weekend, played a couple shows up there. So yeah, it was a long weekend, but I'm excited to be back in LA. So to begin getting ready for Mexico City is my next move.
Yeah.
You're so handsome, man. Has somebody ever tell you that you look like Bradley Cooper?
You know what's funny is I do get that occasionally. In the beginning, because I don't really follow what celebrities look like, I thought they were just talking shit because he's like, super good looking guy. And then I saw him on the cover of a magazine. I was like, we kind of have a little bit of we're like cousins. Maybe not like, he has a much better physique, I'm not like as strong, but
you look better.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You look better, and also you have a very cool tank top.
Thank you.
Your PBR, is that your favorite beer?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Sucks.
Do you have a favorite beer?
Not really. I guess Bohemia Especial if I'm going to be drinking beer.
Okay, so you like Mexican beer?
I do.
Why?
I like mezcal.
Why people like a lot of Mexican beer? It's any difference?
Yeah, Mexican beer is popular. I don't know why.
I'm a cheap alcohol guy, It's
we drink cheap
I don't
beer,
care.
just like PBR, but we have a cheap beer here as well. It's very very shitty, but Mexican beer is kind of popular around the world.
Yeah. What do you like to drink? What beers?
I like Modelo.
Modelo.
Like.
But it's the same. Like it's like Bohemian competition.
Yeah,
it's like,
Bohemia is kind of it's very it's similar to Modelo. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But I
like
usually drink Modelo.
But
Yeah, I like the
that's
bottle and
San
the
Pellegrino, right?
silver.
Yeah, the silver
paper.
thing on the top. And
Yeah.
also, but there are also very shitty beers. But American beers are good too.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one there?
I don't really drink beer that much. I drink mezcal.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Better.
So now you're talking to Mario.
No hangover.
No hangover, says Mario.
Yeah,
No
for me,
hangover.
it's
That
no
is a
hangover,
lie.
so
That
it's
is a
like
lie.
Alcohol for me, it's like I'm not a
Yeah.
vodka guy. If I drink vodka, it's like I don't know, sniffing something, It's like, but liquid.
My worst hangovers are always on mezcal.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the better
well,
ones?
if I'm drinking, it's usually going to be mezcal or some wine.
Yeah.
So
Wine is good too. I'm getting used to wine lately.
okay.
So what should we bring to the Auditorio Blackberry to your show? It's just a couple of weeks ahead.
What are you expecting?
What am I I'm expecting all of my Mexican friends and fans to be there, screaming my name, loving everything I do. I played Corona Capital with the live band 2019, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep track of time, but it was really amazing. It's one of the most crazy shows I ever played. I almost cried on stage, no joke, because the fans were so ecstatic, and just like so heartfelt that it was really emotional to play. So I'm very much excited to play again. And this will be the first time I'm bringing the whole live band since like the pandemic. So it's going to be very special for me.
That is so cool. What do you remember from Corona Capital? Because Danny told me I wasn't there. I was at Corona Capital, but I wasn't
we were
at
working,
your show.
yeah.
But what do you remember? She told me there were plants on stage.
Yeah, we might do that again. So we get a bunch of plants, like we rent them and then we bring them out. Like, a lot of artists, they'll have like a crazy laser show and pyrotechnics and like a big screen.
That's the easy thing. They go for the easy thing. Lights and lasers.
Exactly.
You have parrots.
Let's do organic. So we went and got 2 truckloads of plants and we made the whole stage look like, a jungle.
Oh, nice.
And we bring it out slowly. Like, we have a crew bring them on stage. So it starts off with just like 2 plants. And then by the end, it's like we're in a whole tropical, like jungle-y zone.
Nice. It's curious. First time that I hear it.
Yeah,
I want to see it. I want to see it.
That is so cool. And what's your idea for this show? Do you have something in mind? Well, obviously you won't spoil the surprise, but do you have something planned? Because now it's gonna be like in a closed auditorium.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing the first time a 7-piece band, like full band with like the most we've ever done before is 5. So now we're going to have 7 people on stage playing music. So it's the most organic. So we maybe have to bring some organic plants as well, but it's going to be very live. And yeah, and we're going to play the most songs we've ever played. We're going to do like at least, well over an hour and a half of like just original music, playing new songs we've never played live before. So yeah, my goal is to play the best. So
and it's your first headline show in Mexico, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, we've DJ'd there a bunch at more like parties, and then we did Corona Capital, but this will be the first like ticketed headlining show ever in Mexico.
And what musicians are you bringing? What instruments?
Well, so full drummer, Vito, who plays in the Rapture.
Amazing.
Oh, nice.
So, and then Brigitte is on percussion, and plays with Toro y Moi, and she has a solo project called Brigitte, and she's opening the show as well.
Cool.
Then on bass, we have the old bass player from the Rapture, Matty Safer, and he sings and plays bass. And then I have another 2 utility guy. They play multiple things. One guy, Casey, plays saxophone and lap steel guitar.
Okay.
And then we have Grant on keys and synthesizer. And last but not least, we have Alton playing guitar and backup vocals.
Oh, it sounds like a dream team of people.
Yeah. Did you pick all the band yourself?
Yeah, of course.
Friends.
They're all friends from various points in time in my life. So a lot of people. 3 of the members I've known for like since high school.
I saw the Rapture once here at the Corona Capital as well, but I had that day with a friend. We decided we were gonna have some magic cakes. Not mushrooms. It was space pancake or whatever, marijuana pancake, and it was so hard that I was so high and I can't remember a lot of things. But the Rapture were so cool. So
that was the very beginning of Poolside. I was there.
Oh yeah,
DJ at Roy that night for the first time.
You were at that show.
Yeah, at Corona Capital, and then we DJ'd that Im Roy, the after party for Corona Capital. Poolside.
Monroy.
Yeah, Roy.
Roy. Okay.
Roy,
that is.
I remember. I have a vague remembering of that nightclub because we used to go so late. It's like it's hard to track it
it's
in
a
your
funny
mind.
Story. I got lost walking to 4 Points Sheraton from Roy, which is like 1 block.
Yeah, it's 1 block.
Yeah. I feel you.
So fucked up. Yeah.
I feel it. I'm not from here, so when I it was take time to me.
Mario is from Venezuela.
Yeah,
so that's the context.
Yeah, and it takes time to me to track the city. It's like
it's a big city.
So I understand you, and everything looks like the same. Block after block.
Yeah,
but
similar.
But you've been to Mexico tons of times.
Yeah, I have. I love Mexico.
What are your best memories from Mexico besides touring? I imagine that touring has been your best memories, but what have you visited here? What do you remember?
Well, recently I have a very fond memory of going. It was during the pandemic, and I was very depressed. And I was talking to my friend Rafa, who lives in Mexico City, and he's like, "Dude, come to Puerto Escondido, man. There's like no pandemic here."
Fuck yeah.
So I just got a one-way ticket to Puerto, and I stayed for like over a month, like maybe almost 2 months, and just chilled. And it was so nice, like compared to Los Angeles, where everything was just, it was during that phase when everything was so scary and no one really knew what was going to happen next. And, so, it's like we're out of it now, so it feels a little different. But at the time, when it was really dark, I went to Puerto, and it was like I showed up and I walked into a party and everyone's hugging me. I'm like, I haven't touched a stranger in like over a year.
Did you feel weird? Like, hey, don't touch me.
Yeah, I was telling people, I'm like, just go on airplane. You know, I'm like contagious probably, and they're like, I don't care. And like, you know,
no, people in Puerto Escondido, they know nobody cared there because I have an Italian friend called Julia, and she was always raving there in Puerto Escondido. She spent like there like most of the pandemic.
But she's still alive.
She's still alive, and she said she was always raving. You probably know her. You probably met her at the party.
Maybe, yeah.
I did go to within a couple days, I'm like raving in Puerto Escondido from like being afraid to see someone on the street walking my dog in Los Angeles. So that was like fucking amazing. But I have so many good memories. I'm from San Diego, so I used to like sneak across the border to Tijuana and get drunk when I was like 16 years old. So I've been going to Mexico for a long time.
Cool.
Jeffrey, okay, go.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I'm talking about a little bit about the music. I mean, how do you compose? Because I'm curious. I'm always asking this to people that make like this kind of music. Because do you compose with plugins? Do you compose with analog instruments? What's your favorite method right now?
I mean, I think it's a weird question. Like, you know, to be honest, like, it's just like, what do you prefer? Text messaging, emails, handwritten letter, a phone call. Like, it just depends, but you really, however you want to communicate, like sometimes it's really nice to get a handwritten letter, but if an email can accomplish that, then fuck it. Why bother? Like, send the email. Yeah. So I have a bunch of hardware, you know, a lot. I mean, here, let me see if I can even, no, can you see this? Let me see if I can do this.
Do a quick tour of your home studio.
Let's see here. Are you still there? Did I fuck it? No.
Yeah, no. We're here.
I mean, this is a quick tour of.
Oh, nice.
Here's a bunch of synths and a guitar. This is some hardware. Some more hardware. Some more hardware. Some amps. You know, so that's like, I don't know if I couldn't see what I was showing you, but I have a lot of hardware. But honestly,
do you have any favorite?
You know, I really like the Space Echo. That one, there's so many knobs and it does, you know, spring reverb and the delay and the analog reverb. I mean, the analog delay where you change everything. So it's all radical, like off of the grid. And I don't think I found anything that really does that as well. I mean, you can duplicate it, but it's really nice to just have all these knobs right at your fingertips. And then there's this synths. I like the really old ones that were just all hand soldered. They just have a warmth to them. I know people say that shit, but I don't really. I think if you're using like a Juno 106 and you spent like $4,000 on that, I think that's crazy.
Totally.
But some of the very old synthesizers where they really have a unique characteristic, even from like the exact same synthesizer, but a different, or like two different of the same can sound different. That I go for because I like just you would never go in and start automating like 25 different parameters subtly. So I just find that like it's really, for me, I like efficiency. And of course I like things to sound warm and nice. So that's the problem with, you know, stock plugins and things is they sound really standard. So if I can get a sound fast out of a piece of hardware, then I prefer that. But if for some reason the plugin actually gives me what I'm looking for, I have no problem with using any kind of software.
Yeah,
and
everything works.
What about lives? Because live shows now there are brands of synthesizers that do very good plugins that they sound amazing as well, and they make it easier to travel. Like for example, Arturia. We have here some things from Arturia here at the studio, and it's great because you have, you know, for traveling. I don't travel a lot because I don't have a band and I don't tour. But I imagine that like if you're coming and doing a lot tour dates, it would be easier to carry just a computer and you know, like a MIDI keyboard rather than carrying your Moog, like your 70s Moog.
Yeah, and it's so heavy too.
I wouldn't want to bring something that's like irreplaceable, but and then live you're not recording, so you really just want a really good sound or signal or whatever. So yeah, I mean we use like a Nord lead for live, which everybody uses.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to bring a little boutique Juno 106, the little baby one.
Yeah, very good
For
ones.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
I also have my Korg Mini Lug. I'm deciding if to bring the Mini Lug or the Juno, the little babe, because of a small footprint. But yeah, for me, for touring, I want to bring something I can replace. Like if it breaks, I
Yeah.
can go to Guitar Center or, whatever. Like I don't want to bring some like gear that's very unique that you can't live without. So, or especially you don't want to break it. And live, there's so many things that are happening musically. Like it's like the way you're not going to tell the difference. And a lot of times you EQ out so much of a signal. You're like cutting out the whole low end. So I don't know. I think people are. It's one thing when you're talking about a recording, but for live, I think it's kind of crazy personally to bring all sorts of like vintage gear. That seems. But more power to you. If you want to do that, I mean, fine. But
Yeah.
I don't.
No, we don't.
Or if you have like a lot of budget and like a crew of 100 people that will carry all that stuff for you.
I don't think I see like huge bands right now, and they're not bringing everything. You know.
No,
It's
but
like,
for example, I've seen live LCD Sound System, and them guys, they carry everything. It's like they move the studio all around, and that seems like okay. That looks so cool. Like even the stage, you look at the stage with all those synthesizers, and looks cool. But that is a lot of work.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
risk.
think that it's cool. They have a modular rig.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, that's impressive. But I don't know if that's it's certainly not the easiest way. But it's whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
I like old guitars because the way they feel, and there's certain things I wouldn't be afraid to bring. But in general, I just want it to be efficient and easy and sound good. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
You should come to the studio when you're here in Mexico, because we have a lot of vintage gear and
tons of old
synthesizers.
guitars, and that's true, because I don't know a lot about gear, but when I've played old guitars, we have some old guitars here at the studio, and whenever I pick a new guitar, like they are not built the same. The wood is very
feeling,
low quality,
yeah.
and now and the old stuff, it just has something. It has some magic that you can't. That you can't get from a new guitar, like a new $2,000 guitar.
I totally agree. So it doesn't sound right. Sometimes it just sounds too good. Like, you're just like, this isn't the sound I'm looking for. Like, I don't think Jimi Hendrix played through some like totally slick guitar. It's like, I mean, it's through it's the feel. I don't know.
Well,
I agree.
We're really excited. We're really excited to see you, and you should pass by. We make some sessions and in the past with the drums and other bands, because we're not only a radio. We have rehearsal rooms, studio. We have a rooftop when we make shows, and gallery where we have many things going on.
We could do a session.
That will be great.
Or you can just stop by and hang out, and we'll have some mezcal and and
all of the above.
Yeah, and Jeffrey, I wanted to ask about, you talked about the pandemic and that you were depressed, and I wanted to ask, how did you cope with that? How did you cope with, the pandemic was crazy. Like now, it seems like it was 10 years ago, and it seems like it didn't existed, but at the time it was very scary. Like you were talking about you going to Puerto. I am assuming that was like mid-2020 or something like that. But at that time, the world was really scary. Like now that we are vaccinated, or most people are vaccinated, and it seems like, okay, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just a flu. But back then was really scary. So how did you cope with that? How did madness feel like when you were like in lockdown? Because it was very different for everyone, and people suffered. Like it was really painful at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was, my whole career stopped. I thought maybe Poolside would stop because like couldn't make money. It was scary. And just being, I'm pretty social, so being just kind of afraid to see people. That's like, I think it's hard to underestimate how weird it is to be afraid of other people. Even I was afraid to see my parents, like all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I tried to become a workaholic. I don't know, you can look at my catalog, but I put out tons of music during the pandemic to just become a workaholic, to forget about it as best I could. I started live streaming a lot of DJ sets. Some are still on YouTube. And then when that stopped working, I was just actually depressed and I kind of didn't know what to do. And that's when I went to Puerto Escondido. And then after being there, it felt, Jesus, fire in my house. Oh, okay. My girlfriend is like making a fire in the kitchen. Not even joking. But yeah, after I went to Puerto Escondido, you just saw, oh, wait, the world is a fucking okay, you know? And I was like surfing and hanging out and going to, you know, just hanging out with good people. And so I was like, okay, like, I think it's going to be all right. So then when I came back to the States, I felt much better. And then, yeah, the world kind of turned back on. So, eventually.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And it's so good news that you're playing a show here, a headline show. I'm sure it's going to be packed and people is going to be very happy to see you live. First time headlining a show here. And yeah, we'll definitely be there, and we'll try to bring some bottle of mezcal for the guys to deliver to you, so you have a good time.